Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the heart of the countryside, there lived a young man named Dr. Jack. Jack was a highly respected and skilled doctor, who had dedicated his life to helping others. He had a passion for his work and was always eager to assist those in need. However, there was something unique about Dr. Jack that set him apart from others in his profession. He loved to wear women's clothing. Growing up, Jack had always been fascinated by the ornate and delicate fabrics of women's clothing. He would often sneak into his mother's closet and try on her dresses, feeling a sense of freedom and comfort that he couldn't find in his own clothes. As he grew older, Jack's love for wearing women's clothing only intensified, and he began to incorporate it into his daily life. Despite his unique fashion sense, Dr. Jack was an exceptional doctor. He was kind, compassionate, and always went above and beyond to ensure his patients received the best care possible. His patients adored him, and his colleagues respected him greatly. However, there were some who were not so accepting of Jack's choice to wear women's clothing. One day, a group of his colleagues approached Jack and expressed their concerns about his appearance. They argued that his choice of clothing was unprofessional and could potentially harm his reputation as a doctor. Jack was devastated. He had never intended to offend anyone with his fashion choices, and he was simply doing what made him feel comfortable. Determined to prove his colleagues wrong, Jack continued to wear women's clothing to work. To his surprise, his patients didn't seem to mind at all. In fact, many of them expressed that they found his unique style refreshing and comforting. As time went on, Dr. Jack's popularity only grew, and he became one of the most sought-after doctors in the area. Despite the initial resistance from some of his colleagues, Jack eventually won them over with his exceptional skills and dedication to his patients. They came to realize that Jack's choice of clothing had no bearing on his abilities as a doctor, and they began to accept him for who he was. As Dr. Jack's reputation continued to grow, he became a symbol of hope and inspiration for those who felt like they didn't fit into society's rigid expectations. He showed the world that it was possible to be true to oneself and still be successful in one's chosen field. Over time, Dr. Jack's unique fashion sense became a part of his identity, and he was proud to wear women's clothing as a symbol of his individuality. He continued to help those in need, and his patients and colleagues alike came to appreciate the compassionate and skilled doctor that he was. As Dr. Jack's popularity grew, he began to feel a sense of discomfort with his gender identity. He had always felt like he was born into the wrong body, and he longed to be able to express himself authentically. After much thought and consideration, Jack decided to undergo gender transition surgery. The decision to undergo such a life-changing procedure was not an easy one. Jack had to grapple with his own insecurities and fears, as well as the potential backlash from his patients and colleagues. However, he knew that he could no longer live a life that didn't align with his true self. The surgery was a success, and Jack emerged from it a new person. He was now living as a woman, and he felt more comfortable and authentic than he had in years. However, he was also aware that his transition would not be without its challenges. As a woman, Jack had to navigate a world that was often hostile to those who didn't fit into traditional gender roles. He faced discrimination and harassment, both professionally and personally. But he refused to be deterred. He was determined to continue helping those in need, and he was proud to be able to do so as a transgender woman. Despite the challenges, Jack's patients continued to support him. They saw him for who he was, a skilled and compassionate doctor who was committed to their well-being. His colleagues also came to accept him, and he was eventually appointed as the head of the hospital's transgender healthcare program. In this role, Jack was able to use his experiences to help others who were going through similar struggles. He spoke out about the importance of accepting and supporting transgender individuals, and he worked tirelessly to advocate for their rights. As time went on, Jack became a symbol of hope and inspiration for the transgender community. He showed the world that it was possible to be true to oneself and still achieve great success in one's chosen field. He proved that love and acceptance could overcome even the most significant obstacles, and he was an inspiration to all who knew him. In the end, Jack's legacy lived on long after his passing. He had touched the lives of countless individuals, and his work continued to inspire and uplift those who followed in his footsteps. He had shown the world that it was possible to be true to oneself, and that love and acceptance could conquer all.